WNNradio.com and like us on Facebook. Search AM 1470 WWNN.
Deep within the Pest Quest training laboratories.
Stinging insects send over 500,000 people to the hospital every year. I don't like hospitals. Rodents, like mice, contaminate food and transmit disease.
Cockroaches spread 33 kinds of bacteria, 6 parasitic worms, and can trigger asthma. That can't be good.
Pests are anything but child's play. Protect your little scientist by getting the facts at pestworld.org.
A public service message from the National Pest Management Association.
What you want to know. What you need to know. This is South Florida's Health and Wealth Radio, AM 1470, WNN.
Here's some great news from Tom Trento, host of the daily WNN Trento Vision Show. Due to the unparalleled success of the Trento Vision Show, you now have an amazing opportunity to advertise on the Trento Vision Show. If you want more information about this excellent opportunity for your business, please contact Tom Trento at 561-319-5533, or you can email him, tom@trentovision.tv. The opinions expressed on the following sponsored program are strictly those of the host, guests, and callers, and not necessarily those of the station, its staff, management, or sponsors. Welcome to Trento Vision, where bad ideas get pulverized and the truth will set you free. Trento Vision is hosted by Tom Trento. Tom can be reached at 561-319-5533 or tom@trentovision.tv. Listen and watch every weekday from 3 to 6 p.m. on AM 1470 WNN and trentovision.tv. Now, let's get a peek at Tom's view of the world. Here's Tom Trento.
Let's get a peek at an insane asylum here on the 13th of 12th?
12th.
Oh, is it 12, 12, 12, 12, 12, 12,
12, 12.
12 12s.
Yeah.
You know how many years before that happens again?
Nope.
How many? 1, 10, 100, or 1,000? 1,000? Okay. Let me manage the money, okay? I thought so too, but it's not 1,000. Something's not right with this thing. Nope. Oops. Wow.
12. It would have to be December 12th.
Today's 12, 12, 12.
Would be,
12th month, 12th year, 12th hour, 12th minute, 12th day.
That throws me off.
Anybody know out there? Next time this is going to happen, 888-565-1470.
I hate pop quizzes on the radio.
It would be just 100 years.
What?
It would be 100 years. 100 years. It'd be 2112.
I have some geniuses in this studio, mathematical geniuses. I originally thought it was 1,000 too. It's 100 years. Every 100 years there'll be a
12.
There'll be a 11111, a 22222, all of that stuff.
Okay, and what is the probability that any of us will be here for that?
I'll be 101.
Well, I'm gonna be cryogenically freeze my head, so I can't.
There's a good chance I'll be, right? No.
You'll be 130 or whatever.
They're gonna wake up my head at 12, so there you go.
Coming out of
cryogen freeze.
No, none of us are going to be here because it's all over on December 21st.
No, where's the party at?
I did a little research on that.
Where's the end of the world party?
Where's the end of the world party?
I could trustfully say with confidence that the world is not going to end on December 21st, even according to the Mayans, because there were mistakes in that calendar. And it's a weird calendar. It's all pictures. How do you have a calendar with just pictures, you know? But I was reading into it a bit. But I think we need to start a freeze Mark's head cryogenically so he can be here in 100 years fund. Go to trentovision.tv, donate. A portion of the donation will go to freezing Mark's head.
Freeze my head.
And defrosting his head. Joe, we want you to be the first donor to that. Okay? Okay. Go to Trento Vision, Joe. Hit donate securely, frozenly. Donate
He's doing it.
Good.
That means we have to send him a bumper sticker.
Oh, man. Okay, hi, everybody. Tom Trento, trentovision.tv. On the simulcast video side, for those of you watching this, the folks out there, our friends from all over different parts of the stratosphere. And on the radio side, we are broadcasting from the 50th floor of the Beasley Broadcasting Corporation in downtown Boca Raton, next to the Boca Pizza Place, or whatever it is, that good pizza place. I found out a little bit about Stromboli and
Yeah, what's the difference?
One's rolled and one's baked. It's a different way in which they're prepared. You put the stuff in, you roll one. The other one, you put it in, and it's like a pocket full of food.
Oh, so you roll it versus...
You roll it, you put the stuff in and roll it, and then throw it in the oven.
Calzone is like taking a pizza
The calzone,
and fold it in half.
yes,
Right.
and you stitch up the sides.
But it's the same dough and it's the same
same thing,
fillings.
and-
So if you didn't look at it, it would taste the same.
Well, you're
Would
talking
it?
you're talking to an Italian.
That's why I'm asking. It's
And,
really a question.
Do you know how many raviolis that I made for my grandmother?
No.
She would make the dough. Mm-hmm. When did somebody ever make dough? You ever make dough in your life?
Yes,
Yes.
I actually have. It's actually very tough to do.
You-
Make bread.
Yeah.
She would make the dough and roll it out, do all the stuff, and get it. And then guess how she cut the round raviolis, the round part. Guess how she cut it?
With glasses?
With a glass, like
Yeah.
the.
Yeah.
And then put the stuff in it and twirl it over, and then I'd have to get the fork. I would cut
Oh,
it.
and you had to lift them.
And then I had to squeeze the two sides together with a fork. Boom, boom, boom.
Put the little things in them, yeah.
Oh my God! We should have for all the Italian people watching, we should have an Italian food hour of how those of us who grew up when our folks or grandparents came over from Italy, what we had to do for food preparation in the house. Lentils, you like lentils?
Yum.
I had to go through pounds and pounds of lentils, and one at a time.
Pick them.
And because there'd be little stones in there, you got to get the stones out. You can't eat the stones, right? Oh, food stories for Italians. So give us a call if you have any great
We
food
have to
stories.
invite Roger for that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that'd be-
We made it, the three of us, to Roger's house for Managot.
I know.
Or for the Medigans in the audience.
Manicotti.
Manicotti, that's what it is. Manicotti. You got any manicotti in this restaurant? It's Managot.
Is that the one with the cheese?
So, but it was delicious, wasn't it? I mean, it was great stuff. If Roger is watching, and Linda, thank you. And you can freeze some like Mark's head and send it to us. We'll defrost it here
With some really good
Freeze Mark's
sauce.
head.
in
I
the
like this fun. Yeah.
in the Beasley cafeteria. We will unfreeze it and eat it. All right, it is. I'm losing the days. It's Wednesday.
It's Wednesday, December 12th.
12/12/12. We know it's
Yeah.
that.
How
It's
many days is that before Obama's?
before the vacation. Well, he's leaving on the 21st, so 9 from 21. Anybody?
Another quiz.
higher math thing.
Do it 10.
It is.
Whenever it's a 9, go 10
You know.
and minus 1.
Yeah,
So, so
I'm checking
10
the weather.
is 12. So 11 days. You can do it, Barack. You can do it. Hang in there, buddy.
Yeah, he's catching a lot of heat about that.
Do you think he's going to leave or what? What do you mean he's catching heat? I didn't hear
Oh,
that.
he's like they're talking about, well, he might want to suspend his vacation. Da 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 da. There's a lot of like little rumors. He's not going to do that. He's so going to go on this vacation, come hell or high water. He is just going to go on it. And he's the king.
He's the
prince.
king.
He's
The
prince.
peasants can deal with it. He'll blame
Let
the
them eat
Republicans,
cake.
whatever.
Let them eat cake.
Yeah. All right, we got a bunch of stuff going
Okay,
on
she never
today.
actually said that.
It's
Oh.
a metaphor.
Okay, I'm just
Let them eat
saying.
cake. But it sounds
I'm
good.
just saying.
How many sayings from history weren't really said? That's another little segment we can
That would
do.
be a fun show.
That would be,
Yeah.
yeah. Today's going to be a very interesting day. This first hour, we're going to kind of explore where we've been all week, see what's going on. There's some crazy things going on. Our buddy Mohammed, let's see, is it Mohammed? Our buddy Mohammed Morsai already changed the rules, the voting rules. So we'll tell folks about that. But so our first hour, those of us in the room, CJ, say hello.
Hello.
Let's get CJ in the shot here.
No. no.
Are you
You're
eating? Are you eating any
I'm
sandwiches?
not eating
Are you
any sandwiches today.
Okay.
How come nobody brought me a sandwich?
Oh man, they fell down on the job.
That's not right.
Here we go. And CJ's
I brought
here.
you something.
Oh, pumpkin spice flax. What the heck is that?
It's healthy
losing
for
your
you.
regular
For
weight.
people who are
Regular?
losing weight.
Yeah, you're losing
I am.
weight.
Another
Yeah.
pound. Another pound.
There you go.
Gonna be at my fighting weight pretty
You
soon.
notice I haven't been bringing cookies since you went on your weight plan.
No, but these guys.
Yeah, I was going to bring some on Friday when I thought you weren't going to be here, but now that you are, I guess I won't.
I never thought I would ever have a struggle with my weight. I was always a skinny little twerp, basically. Twerp part in terms of looking, skinny all the time, thin. And then, in fact, when I played Pop Warner football in Newark, New Jersey, for the Newark Bears, that was a phenomenal 3 years for the Newark Bears in New Jersey, state champ. I mean, we were a great team. But when I first started, I think I was 10 years old. I was like 30 pounds, and I needed to gain weight. So they said, eat potatoes and milkshakes, potatoes and milkshakes. I could eat up until I was about 25. In fact, at 25 years old, I'm sitting at my desk. I was in school, and I was in my underwear, as I sometimes am, in the privacy of my home. And I didn't have a shirt on. And at 25, I was, I think the word is ripped. I think it's ripped, the word. What are you guys doing?
I'm playing Batman with the.
Dutch angles or something?
Dutch angles.
We're going to some
Okay, so you were ripped.
I was ripped at 20, actually, partially at 25.
No, you weren't.
I was sitting down at my
Okay,
desk.
there's a difference between skinny and ripped.
I want to see the pictures. I want some physical
I'll show
evidence.
you,
I
I'll
want
show
some
you.
photo evidence. Of
I was
this.
a boxer, I was a wrestler, I was all kinds of different things.
So define ripped for me.
And
Define ripped.
I'm going to define it right now. Listen, I was sitting down at my desk. I looked down at my stomach, and I saw a little flap of skin. I said, what the heck is that? Right? That's never been there before. My stomach was perfectly flat. I saw this little like bulge. I go, 25 years old. It's been downhill ever since then. It was one of those little tiny tire things starting, but really, so anyway, a pound a day if you're keeping track. And as I said, by April 1st, I'll be 41 pounds, okay? I'm going to be able to have a whole new suit of clothes and all this stuff. No, I'm actually speaking somewhere in January, so I'm trying to get into some of my suits that have been sitting in the closet
Right.
for all these years and try to get some of them back on. And they're nice. They're nice from a former life. Nice suits. But in any event, that's
Well,
not
I'm
why
sure
we're
you're
here
going to
today.
do it.
I don't know, man.
We're going to do it. We're all helping you.
We're going out this evening, the crew.
Yeah.
Get something to eat.
Yes.
Don't let me eat too much, okay?
Okay.
I'll have a glass of wine and a little salad or something.
Okay, make sure I have an extra
Not-
serving and a milkshake.
I used to eat till I was about 35. I used to eat until I almost passed out. I would eat that much, where the oxygen went to your stomach, and I would be the last person. I love to eat.
I've been craving meat,
Yeah.
which I haven't had in
Yeah.
years
Okay.
and years, and I'm craving.
Meat is good.
You know, if I see that commercial for Ruth Chris Steakhouse.
Yeah, I know. It's good. I know.
Oh my
They are
gosh,
great
I'm
steaks.
looking at that and I'm thinking, okay, I want that right now.
They are fabulous steak.
I
haven't
bet
had
if
one
I
of those
ate a
in while.
few of those, I would gain some weight.
Except we have to sell the camera to go pay for Ruth's
I don't
Chris.
think anybody would buy this camera.
Yeah, well, are we getting the other one fixed so that we can send this one to the hospital?
Yes.
Okay, good.
Yes.
Good.
Yes.
This one's,
He's like, yes, leave me alone. I'm trying to work here.
you know what I want to do? Here's what we'll do. We'll raise some donation money this way. Take some pictures, close-ups of the camera, and then we'll show them to the folks.
Hey,
Do we
these
have
things
a
been in
name
some
for the
wars.
camera?
These things have been in some wars here.
Yeah, that's true. We're going to show one of the wars where you've been attacked several times.
Several
with
Does this
times.
camera
See
have a
that?
name? This camera needs a name, like Old Betsy or
Yeah,
something like
It
that.
does.
She
You know how?
And where is that chicken?
She's been beat up a lot.
Where is the
In the
chicken?
bag. Chicken's in the
The
bag.
chicken's in the bag?
Chicken's in the
The
bag.
chicken needs to rear its ugly head, especially if we're going to freeze yours.
You know those commercials where they bring the little kids on and all of that, and your heart, and you just go, okay, I'll call up. We need to do that with the camera. We need to show them what the camera looks like.
Like the camera lying down. We need to show a nurse over the camera in a bed.
Mark holding the camera like this. It's got duct tape. It's got wood holding it together. It's got wire holding it together.
We'll get a puppy with a paw over the camera like that.
Most of our time is spent in the field amongst people that don't like us. So sometimes the camera gets bounced around.
Yeah.
More than once. It's actually got slapped around pretty hard a couple times.
And we're traveling all over the place, and you put them in boxes, and the people throw them in the air, but you carry them on the plane all the time.
No, I won't put them underneath.
Oh, come on. I have seen you drop that thing in the parking lot.
Yes, that has happened.
More than once.
TrentoVision.tv for the camera fund, okay? So now there's the Freezing Mark's Head Fund and the camera fund. But we may have to raise money for the Steven Crowder Fighting Tony the Fat Slob Union Thug Fund.
Oh, gosh.
Have you seen that?
Yes,
you guys
I have.
See that?
Yeah. Yeah.
Man, oh man.
Yeah. I mean, I always love his video reports, but that is one report that,
That was pretty wild. And for those of you in our listening audience and our viewing audience, I'm sure you saw, because it's been all over, at least Fox News. I don't know if the other news outlets, I think they're spiking the story.
Mm-hmm.
The Michigan situation yesterday, where the riot to work law was passed, the RIOT.
The riot to work.
Yeah, riot to work.
Yeah.
That was on Fox this morning. I thought it was pretty cute. Right to work. The union came out en masse to protest the governor's and the legislature's passing of a right to work bill. And one of the Fox correspondents, Steven Crowder, young guy, he does kind of the offbeat, edgy, funny reporting, man on the street stuff.
Yeah.
He went among the people, and, well, why don't we just show them what happened? You got the minute one, the 1 minute one?
The 1 minute one I do.
Yeah, the one I sent.
Yeah.
Here's what we're doing. At 5 o'clock today, we have 3 segments on our extravaganza, our visual and audio extravaganza each day here on the Trento Vision Show. And in our 5 o'clock hour, we are going to go into depth on what you're going to see and hear right now, the attack of this young guy, but more importantly, because his attack illustrates a trend in the United States with the unions. They're in their death throes. I mean, the unions have been dying off, and these are nasty people. You were in a union. I'm very familiar with unions. You were in a union
I was
too.
in a union,
Yeah. And all of this came about that you're going to see and hear because there was a group called Americans for Prosperity, and they're a group of conservatives that are free enterprise and capitalism and all of that. They set up a tent legally, permitted tent on the public square, and they were basically supporting the governor in the passage of the Right to Work bill. We're going to define all of that.
Right.
And then all hell broke loose, and the thugs literally went and ripped the Americans for Prosperity's tent down.
Yeah.
Well, 5 o'clock, the state director for Florida, Americans for Prosperity has their operation throughout the United States. Florida is a very large, significant
Yes,
chapter.
it is. Yeah.
The state director, Slade O'Brien, will be right here. He'll be sitting right next to CJ, right there. We're going to talk to him about this, find out what the heck is going on, what AFP does. But right now, let's just tease the folks a little bit with this 1 minute piece. Feast your eyes on this mess. And your ears.
What is it about right to work that you oppose so much?
Whatever you oppose about right to work is because it's the freedom to freeload. They can suck all of the parasitical benefits and the hard wages that unions have negotiated, and they get it for free.
Already destroyed one tent. Leave the tent alone.
Get the out of my face!
Don't tear down the tent.
Get the out of my face!
You hurt a lady there.
You're addressing me. I ain't hurt nobody. You hurt the out of my face!
Back the
Back the up!
Stop tearing down the tent.
Back the up!
Okay.
Look at that. You hear that?
I'll kill them with the gun. I killed plenty of them with the gun.
Okay, what were you saying, Mark? Couldn't hear you. All right, that was well. On the audio side, you just heard a cacophony of chaos. Basically, that's what happens in these fights that break out in these large groups. A bunch of union guys. One union guy went after the Fox correspondent Steven Crowder, and started hitting him. Crowder didn't fight back. If he would have, as you'll hear him later say. And we're trying to get Crowder. I reached out to him. He's doing interviews all over the place. But we do have the director for Americans for Prosperity. Fight broke out, and
he took a massive shot to the face. I mean,
he got hit.
That looked like that was going to hurt for quite a while.
It was a full on. The guy ran up and just
boom, caught him good.
I mean, it was a cold cock, but he didn't go down.
No, he did say in another interview that he was out on his feet.
Yeah, he got punched.
And and that happens when you get hit. I've been hit like this in the ring. If you get hit just right, your body just goes numb. You're standing there, you kind of see what's going on, but you can't do anything, and just for a second. And he came back, and he was dazed. Somebody pulled him away, chipped his tooth, because when he got hit, he didn't have a mouthpiece or anything. And boom, chipped his tooth.
Ouch.
So
they tore down the AFP tent.
That is amazing. We're dealing with this because part of the President Obama's remaking of the United States of America is to empower unions to have more of a say and more of a role in America than they've had in the past, because he's a firm believer in unions.
Yeah.
He made one phone call, the president did, to Richard Trumka.
Right.
He said, Richie, baby, Richard's the head of the AFL-CIO.
Yeah.
He said, we need some money for my re-election campaign.
And we need 500,000 workers.
Richard raised $500 million, $500 million, and 500,000 workers, 450-something thousand workers. So Obama owes these guys. He owes them big time.
Yeah.
He should, and he went into Michigan yesterday, or was it yesterday or the day before, basically taking the side of the unions, all of that, against the state. So we have a president that is the epitome. His policies are the epitome of class warfare. It's
okay,
amazing.
we have a president who not only instigates class warfare. Look how he's insinuating himself into Michigan. But this is a president whose Justice Department sues the individual states for enforcing the laws of the United States.
Yeah, when the federal government doesn't enforce a particular law, like in Arizona.
Exactly.
The law says you can't just come into America and cut in front of the line of everybody else. You got to do it the right way. When the federal government doesn't do what they're supposed to, the state said, and they passed laws that said we're going to do what the federal government doesn't.
That's
and
right.
then the Department of Justice sues the state for compensating for the state's failure. Unbelievable.
For the federal government's
for the federal
failure.
For the federal government's
Yeah.
failure. Unbelievable.
And won't let the states enforce the laws of the state laws or the federal laws.
It would be good if we had somebody in here who was attacked by union thugs. Wouldn't that be good?
That would be really, really swell.
I wonder, has anyone in the Trento Vision team here ever been attacked by union thugs?
Has.
Oh, I see a hand, kiddies. Yes, J. Mark Campbell.
Yeah.
Were you attacked by union thugs?
Actually, I was. Pipe fitters union thugs down during the pipe fitters thugs.
Closer, you got to hold it close.
During the healthcare debate back in 2000, when was it?
It was August 11th of 2009. I know the date well.
Yeah, okay. And they came after me because I was shooting a video camera and I wasn't even saying anything to
Yeah, but
these
how
guys.
can you prove this? This may be a figment of your non-frozen brain.
A figment of my imagination.
of your of
No,
your...
you have a good imagination. That's the
How
problem.
can you prove that? How can you prove that? Can you prove what you're saying?
Yes, I can. Yes, I can.
Prove it to the Trento Vision audience.
Prove it to the crowd. Well, we got called up with me and CJ, who was my handler.
You guys go way back to 2009?
Yeah.
Wow.
And,
We went on a,
little
hey, we
junket.
had a date, an out-of-town date.
On an out-of-town date up to New York, and went
Yeah.
on to the Sean Hannity show. Similar.
Who did? You guys were on the Sean Hannity show?
Yeah.
So,
I was just
prove
off
it.
camera,
Prove it.
but he was on
Mike's
camera.
queued it up now.
Yeah, I need the mic. It's all queued up.
All right.
Tampa, Florida quickly became a mob scene when citizens were forcibly kept out. Now, there were cameras there, but not everyone was happy about that. One photographer at the event had his camera knocked out of his hands as the event unraveled. Let's take a look.
That would be you, right? They're screaming at these things.
The man who captured all of that on tape was on the receiving end of all of that and that scuffle was J. Mark Campbell. He's here with us now. Mark. Frightening. Yeah.
Mark takes one for the team.
Yeah.
That's why the cat. Oh, look, you had your little Fu Manchu going on.
Fu Manchu back then.
Man.
Yeah.
And there was a point. This is knocked the camera out, man. They hit me and they knocked the glasses out, broke my glasses, and everything stomped on them. So it was a pretty, and they were pretty. And I understand what this guy was going through because these guys who were coming after me, these guys were bigger than I am, and
You're pretty big.
And you're a big guy.
I'm a big guy.
Yeah.
And I was actually
You
pretty
could play
scared,
the
yeah.
Great Pumpkin.
Yeah, I can play the. But anyway, it's the same scenario. It's the same thing that happened
Yeah.
back then. Now it's the same mentality. It didn't change.
Yeah.
Well, did you call Peter Feynman by any chance, our lawyer who can help you, and he can help you too out there? Did you call him?
Well, later on, I got busy with another assault by the Muslims up in.
Oh, you got attacked up
Tallahassee.
there too.
Yeah.
Did you call Peter Feynman for that?
We called the state attorney
Yes, I did
for
call
that.
Peter Feynman,
Yeah.
and he gave me good advice.
Yeah.
And he
Or did
actually-
you at least put it in the Patriots Press? Online.
I didn't know the Patriots
blog?
Press. I didn't know them back
Okay.
then, but I would have if I
No.
did.
You would have, or you could
Or
have.
you could have put it in the
contacted-
Tea Party Tribune,
You
but
could have
there
put it
was
there.
no Tea Party
There was no
Tribune
Tea
yet
Party.
because there was
That
no
sounds the
Tea
beginning of the
Party
Tea
yet.
Party back
Yeah.
then, right?
How about Watchdog Swire? Did you
Didn't
put
know.
it there?
Didn't know Watchdog Swear.
I
at the
didn't
time.
know him there. Okay. Well,
Rich is going to call and complain
Well,
because you got it wrong.
our
it's
viewers-
watchdogwire.com,
That's not Watchdog Swire. Okay.
please.
watchdogwire.com. Our sponsors support all that we do, and we support them. Watchdog Wire, our good friend Rich Swire.
Yes.
Watchdog Swire. He's on vacation with his dear wife.
Oh, yeah.
so
How'd
it's
she
probably-
manage that?
Yeah, you know.
She got him to take a vacation?
What's kind of weird is, well, they went to a little vacation place, but you leave Florida to go on vacation. I guess you can do that. I guess people do that.
Yeah.
Went through vacations. And yeah, Peter Feynman, our good lawyer friend, Feynman Law, Feaman, FeynmanLaw.com. Go there if you need a lawyer. If somebody, if a thug from the union attacks you, Peter's the guy. He can take care of it, all right? So, what do we have in the 4 o'clock hour for everybody?
In the 4 o'clock hour, we have Rabbi Eli Kavon.
Yep, we have. He was here last week, and we spoke to him about the vote in the United Nations, where the world has
Turned its back on Israel.
indicated its
Yeah.
preference. We saw that. He spoke on that. He spoke on the E1 situation. I mean, he studied. I didn't realize the depth of his knowledge on the Middle East and on Israel and national security and all of this. As we got into it, we said, we got to have you back.
Right.
And I think we're going to have him like weekly, pretty regularly, because he's a real resource. And sadly, he is one of just a few very brave Jewish rabbis who are taking a stand nowadays, going against the leftist Jewish kind of automaton mindset.
Yeah.
And he's standing for Israel, he's standing for the United States, he's standing for national security, and he's teaching his congregation that. So we'll have him in at 4 o'clock. That's going to be, have you met him yet?
No, I haven't.
Great guy, really
but
good.
also I would like
salmon
to.
swimming upstream right now, especially.
He is, yeah,
yes,
Yeah,
definitely is.
yeah. But we're
So
not
we
going
wanna
to pay
support
him if he comes every week.
No.
I just want to make that clear.
No, we won't pay him.
But we will
like
offer
we pay everybody else.
Pay
However-
my salary. Yeah, pay him my salary.
However, we will offer kosher snacks.
Oh, that sounds good.
He's going to get kosher snacks and I don't.
You always get kosher snacks. You just don't know it.
So the 4 o'clock hour, we're going to deal with the Middle East and the reverberations going on there. We have serious stuff coming out of Syria. We have Egypt now. Morsi just decided to stagger the vote. It was going to be the referendum for the new constitution, and if it passes and becomes a Sharia-compliant country, bad news for America. Unbelievably bad, particularly in light of a bunch of F-16s going over there. So we're gonna explore all of that with the rabbi, make some application for everyone here in the U.S. of A. And then in the 5 o'clock hour, we're going to dive very deeply into the serious problem of the death throes. I sent out an email this morning. I called it dead man walking.
Right.
Dead union walking. The unions are dying, and when you have 24 states now that have passed these laws, right to work, and what it means simply.
What is right to work? Yeah.
Right to work without a union. Okay, that's the full thing. You have a right to work without having to join a union. Some states
Without having to join a union and have your dues confiscated out of your paycheck against your wishes.
Yep, and having no say as to how it's used.
Exactly.
So right to work, it almost sounds like, it's almost counterintuitive, but it means a human being has the right to work in a state without the force of the union interfering with their decision. Now, could that individual in a right to work state join a union if they want to? Of course they can.
Of course they can.
But the union doesn't want it that way. They want compulsory, particularly in a union shop. If you join a company, if you work at a company as a union shop, you got to join. And what?
Well, here's the point. This is totally a Democrat-driven agenda, because this is how the money flows. Okay, what happens is, look at the Obama stimulus dollars. 90% of the Obama stimulus dollars, it's how the roads didn't get built, the bridges didn't get saved, all that other good stuff. It didn't happen. So what it did, all that money went to the unions, who ensure that their members get, all their benefits, and they prop up their power. And then what happens is, once that money comes in, and the dues come in from all these people joining the union, because it's a forced union state, the leaders of the union turn around and donate that money back to the Obama campaign for ads and for support and for pushing out the vote. So it's a big money circle. Now, this is nothing new. I mean, it's been going on for years. I mean, Obama didn't create this. But he mastered it. He mastered it by dumping all the stimulus dollars straight. So all those stimulus dollars you thought were going to bridges and roads, which didn't get repaired or fixed, they went right to the unions.
They went right
and
to the
right
unions.
back to Obama campaign. So it's a big money laundering scheme is what it is.
It is, and the Republicans and the unions are smart enough. They know that they got to keep some Republicans happy, so they send money that way. If you're a union person and you're a diehard, you bleed the union, the brotherhood, whatever it is, jump in the conversation. We'll talk now if you want, and at 5 o'clock for sure. 888-565-1470. Our view is the unions are a dinosaur, anachronistic, an old part of history. They either have to modify themselves or get the hell out of the way, because they're hurting the economy, they're hurting the chance people, you know what's replaced unions?
Well, wait a minute. I
Yes.
think you're totally.
This thing's
I
replaced.
think you're totally wrong on this. I think
I'm
this
gonna-
election proved that, the unions are actually ascendant, especially when you consider the growth of the public sector over the last few years and over the coming years with Obamacare and everything else. All of those government people who get hired will be union people.
They absolutely
Okay?
will be.
And all of the people who are in the unions will be exempt from all the tax laws that the rest of us have to pay. So
Well,
there's no way these unions are going away.
Well, Obama's trying to prop them up with money because before this election they were on a dying, death throes.
Yeah.
And they're still on a dying death throes in places where they're mandated to be.
The battle in Michigan.
The battle in Michigan, right.
8 or 10 years ago, 40% of all workers were members of unions in Michigan.
Right.
The United Auto Workers is Michigan.
Right.
It's down to 17% of workers in Michigan. I mean, that's significant.
Well, the reason
Well, that's
being,
because they shut down the auto industry in Michigan because they
of the
got too
unions.
big and bloated because of the unions, and the unions said, "Okay, we got NAFTA. We'll go to Mexico. We'll go to Canada," and then we had Roger and me.
Yeah, remember that?
Yeah.
And also,
Yeah.
you
Good
got-
luck. Go eat rabbits.
And also, and Obama's trying to save them. I mean, that's the reason it's now government motors.
That's
The
right.
largest
Yeah.
government owned. And they're just pumping out some quality vehicles up there, like the Chevy Volt and all those good cars.
Yeah.
Because everybody's buying GM right now.
And in the context of our expertise, national security, there's two really red flags being waved. One is the direction of the economy. You absolutely have to have a stable and sound economy in order to have a strong defensive capability in a very dangerous and deadly world. So if indeed this union stuff has gone over the cliff to the point where, they wanted to just protect a worker, now they're destroying the productivity of the organizations with all the entitlements and benefits and all of that, the money going to campaigns. If that is true, which we believe it is, then this is detrimental to the economy of the United States of America, number one. Number two, it's wrecking the patriotic morale. When you see these thugs coming along and, getting into fights with a state that decided we don't want to do this anymore and giving people a free choice to determine whether or not they want to participate in a union, now you're starting to have these very deep divided lines of Americans against Americans. Right. And that is very difficult to have a unified national security view on anything when you have this ingrained hatred for one another.
And another aspect is think of who builds our military hardware. I mean, if you're talking about national security, look at what's the state of the unions in the companies where our fighter planes are being built and our tanks are being retrofitted and our spare parts are being made. And
well, you're talking to one person right here sitting on the ground who actually did build those hardware pieces of equipment.
Yeah.
I work for Martin Marietta as a Teamster.
Right.
And here's the whole point.
So your buddies beat you up,
right.
And before or after you were a Teamster?
After.
Oh, okay. You were a Teamster years ago.
Yeah.
You worked in the union.
Right.
And don't you have like a handshake or a little sign?
Secret,
you could
Teamster handshake.
You could throw down a union sign.
No,
or
I
something?
wish there was one because the union was completely useless to me.
You have to be a Mason. They have the rings,
Yeah, 33-degree Mason, something like that.
Yeah.
But no, what happens is it's total protecting longevity. It has nothing to do with what you do as a worker. You're simply there. Whoever's there longest that's what the union's there for, is to protect the job until you get your pension and your benefits and everything like that.
Right.
So what it is, it's last in, first out. It's a LIFO.
LIFO, yeah.
So if you're the last one hired, you're the first one fired.
Right.
And that's what happens. And that's the
Right.
reason there's a revolving door. With unions, nobody can really build up support.
And also with these people, the longer that they're in, they make sure that their children or their grandchildren or their nephews and their nieces and their friends and their family members are the ones who get preferential treatment for getting hired. They make sure that their friends and family are on the list for getting hired. So it really does become a closed shop
It is.
in
It's-
every sense of the word, because you just can't get in.
And you have to know somebody, know somebody, know
Exactly,
somebody.
exactly.
And there's no, and they completely restrict you on the work and what you can do and how there's absolutely no independence as far as doing a great job inside a union for the company. Because
No, you can't, because if you do, you show up your fellow employees, your coworkers, you make everybody look bad, and then they dump on you. Hey, you're working too hard over there. We don't want to work hard
Actually,
and
I
keep
got
up
told
with
that.
you.
I got told that
Yeah,
once.
the whole "I'm all right, Jack." You know.
I actually I increased a procedure in Martin Marietta where it really speeded up efficiency for
Right.
for the whole production of the Patriot missile.
Right.
I got pulled aside by the union guy and says, why did you do that?
Yeah.
I go, well, you can be more productive, you can get more units out. He says, do you realize you're putting people out of jobs?
Yeah.
And I
Exactly.
go, what? I mean, completely anti-capitalistic. It's
Yeah.
like, hey, I'm supposed to be working for the company. My job's work for the company, make the company.
No.
No, you got it backwards.
Yeah.
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 And that's exactly what I was told. And so
Yeah.
that's what I learned the hard way, what a union is. It is.
Yeah.
And now, there was a point in time when unions were needed, but this is the pendulum.
Like I said, the canary in the coal mine.
The pendulum has
you
swung
know?
way too far to one direction right
Right.
now.
Yeah.
And it's completely killing business.
Yeah.
All right, the
Absolutely.
unions were...
No more Twinkies, folks.
Oh, man, Twinkies are gone. Well, you did see that one expose. Somebody shot some video of GM workers on a break. They're about 20 guys. They're out in like a little field. They're smoking dope. They're drinking beer out of bottles and all that's on their break. And then they go back to work to make cars that whoever buys GM cars.
That happened all the time.
They all got fired.
It happened all the time at Martin Marietta.
They all got fired.
Gosh.
Which they should have, and then the union got some of them back, fought for them and got them back.
Right.
So the unions, unbelievable. In any event, here's what we're doing today on Trento Vision at 43 minutes past whatever hour you happen to be living in. Depending on what dirt you're standing on, there's a unique hour over your head. Here, it's the 3 o'clock hour, so it's 3:43. If you're in California, our good friends there, it's the noon o'clock hour. So it's noon
12:43.
Yes, it's noon 43 in California.
Mhm.
That's a union state if I ever saw one. I grew up in Jersey. That's a union state.
Wow. That's going to be a state where nobody works anymore pretty soon.
Unbelievable. And it is 12-12-12. You can mark that down. And, if you're alive in 100 years from now, it'll be 12-12-12 again in 100 years. But it's getting warm in here. It's 77 degrees.
Oh,
I don't understand.
wow.
Who controls this thing? Does Joe do that? I don't know. What is it outside?
It is
cloudy
79 degrees and cloudy.
Did
Yeah,
you see
it's humid.
for our car report?
No, there's cars. There's always cars.
There's always
Come on,
cars.
people. There's always traffic.
There's always traffic. Okay, thanks, Invisible Mike. For our local listeners.
Ooh, I
'cause
just saw a Jeep.
a Jeep went by.
Yeah.
For our
I'm trying to
local,
take over Mike's job now too. Jeez, oh man, we have one job. She takes
She's
over
back
Mike's
2 days.
Two
and she's
days.
taking over
takes over
Mike's
my
job.
chair. Now she's trying to take over your job.
man, here, you want my seat?
Yeah, go ahead. Take it all. Take it all. You run.
Yeah.
take over the show, CJ. Go
And
ahead.
no cookies too.
No cookies. Yeah.
Unbelievable. You give them an inch. These women. You give them the vote.
I know.
Give them the vote.
See what
Next thing,
happens when you give them the right
they're
to
running the
vote?
show.
Believe that? Trying to take over your job, man.
Oh, I'm developing a new.
Okay, I'm never looking out the window again.
I'm developing a new view on voting. Seriously, we'll have to talk about this sometime. My new view is we've got to have minimal requirements for voting. We have it now, so this is not new groundbreaking thinking. You have to be 18 years old to vote in the United States of America. What is magical about 18? I mean, what? if you're a nitwit at 17.
I think that was draft age is why they did that.
Well, I got a gun. I'm fighting for the country and I can't even vote.
Yeah.
Well, maybe you can shoot a gun better.
But they don't
than
let
you
them
can
drink beer either now.
Right, exactly.
So
That'd be
what the
21.
heck? You might as well take away the vote.
If you're a nitwit at 17 years, 11 months, 30 days, and 11 hours and 59 seconds, what happens magically that all of a sudden you know what the world is about?
It's typically after people graduate high school, they figure they have a basic education to understand.
It doesn't work. It obviously doesn't work. Look at it in the reverse. Let's say that only stupid people can vote. Okay, people that have they don't know if you put a microphone.
I think that's what happened this year, actually. Yeah, they're called independents.
They're called independents.
They're called the undecideds.
They can vote, but they can't drink.
Yeah, right. We should switch it. You can drink, but you can't. Let them drink, and you can't. Ooh, let's let the 18-year-olds trade their vote for drinking.
Age.
Oh, guess what?
That would
wipe out the 18-year-olds from voting.
Yep, that would do that. Now, what else? What can we do to? Here's what
I think we need maybe you should have to get like a license to procreate. How about that?
Well, but let's think of. Follow me on my new voting thinking.
Follow you on your journey.
If you got 100 people and everybody is dumb, okay, dumb in the sense that they're 25 years old, okay, and they've chosen to drop out of school. They've chosen never to apply themselves. They cannot read. They're functionally illiterate. They have no concern whatsoever about society. They're simply concerned about themselves. They go from one job to another. They just want to drink. They want to get high and hang out. And let's say we put those 100 people in the new legislature guiding America. Okay, they have the right to vote, and we make them run the country. How many people would say that's a good idea? We put those people, that group of people who are clueless and couldn't care less, making decisions for the direction of everybody else.
Well, that's kind of like Hamas getting elected in Gaza.
That's true. Well, that's
It's the same kind of thing, because everybody would say, oh, you know what? They'll become responsible. They'll be in charge of collecting the taxes and getting the roads paved and everything else, and they'll wise up and they'll become responsible citizens and they'll get smart and everything else, and actually everything won't be better.
No, and if you break this down logically, you look at those 100 people, and you go, okay, we can never do that, Trent. What are you, crazy? We can't have 100 people that couldn't care less or clueless running the country. Okay, then you agree with our premise that some people are incapable of making decisions properly for other people, right? Is it unfair to them for us to say, we're not putting you in charge of the ship to direct the ship? No. All right, now let's take a step down. Then the theory exists that some people in the gene pool, some people in the world become detrimental to the well-being of others if they're in a decision-making position, right? So, and we've struggled with this all through history, and other nations do different things. I mean, it used to be in the early days, those great founders and framers we talk about, their gig was what? What do you have to do to vote?
You had to own property to vote.
Now, here's people that, spend their lives, their fortunes, their honors, carving out this country, brilliant, highly educated philosophers, theologians, thinkers, and they said, we're going to entrust the future in the hands of people to make a decision. Should there be any requirement for them to make a decision about the direction of this country?
Well, they should have a vested interest in it.
Actually, there is, one idea that's been floating around out there.
You got to hold that thing.
Is that you have to be a taxpayer to vote, not a tax receiver. So if you don't pay taxes or somehow have paid taxes in the past to give to the economy, you got to have skin in the game. If you don't have any skin in the game, all you do is see how much you can get from the guy who's giving you money.
Well, yeah, you're taking the theory we're playing around with here. 888-565-1470. Interesting theory. Do you need some minimal requirements to vote in America besides being 18 years old. You're taking a theory we're saying we're doing we're reducing it to absurdity, reductio ad absurdum. We're saying take 100 people that are just couldn't care less. We're not going to put them in charge of the asylum. Okay, so we know that some people ought not be in charge. Now, if we start backing that down, saying, well, suppose we make it a fair democratic process, and there's 100 of them and 5 others, and these are 5 very smart people that know how to fly the airplane, switching the metaphor, and won't crash it, but these guys will crash it. How do we get those 5? What is the distinctive? It would be an educational requirement at that point. You have to have some minimal why not a minimal educational test like you do to become a citizen? You've got to know about the history of the United States of America.
Because they would learn the history of the United States of America
what a shocking thought.
in a public school taught by a union teacher who hates the United States and goes to commie camp for vacation.
Well, speaking of commie camp, Invisible Mike and I spent a day in commie camp in downtown Chicago at LaSalle DePaul University last October 2011. We went to the Midwest Conference on Marxism, right? Was it? We went incognito. It was pretty interesting.
Yeah,
Invisible Mike was himself, and I had to do a little makeup and stuff to blend in. Guess what the primary job was for the people that were avowed Marxists in Chicago at the Midwest Marxist Conference. Guess what position they occupied?
They were teachers.
They were school teachers.
Yes.
They were Chicago school teachers who are avowed Marxists at a Marxist convention.
Right.
Okay? But that begs the question that I'm laying out, which was, how about a minimal educational standard before you can vote? And there'd have to be some equitable way of doing the test. They have to fill it out and make sure they don't cheat, all of that. They got to know basic stuff. Or they got to be a taxpayer. I like that one.
I think the Founding Fathers
because
had it
look
right.
at this.
I think the Founding Fathers did have it right, because if you don't have skin in the game, if you don't have some type of vested interest in the product or the company that you're working for, you don't care. There is how much can I get from that,
And the reverse may be possible, that if voting was something you earn, not automatically given, right? Oh, but this goes against everything. No, it makes a more literate society. It makes people strive to participate in having a say. If you don't strive to participate, if you don't do the work necessary, it's sort of an entrepreneurial approach to it.
Okay.
And your friends are voting. Why are they voting and I can't? Because they are paying. They got a little job, and they're making $10 an hour, and they're paying taxes, and they've done it for the 6-month probation period, so now they can vote. You can do the same thing too.
Okay, but people won't even work for money now. Why would they even work to vote?
Then they don't vote. Then
but they don't care.
We thin out the illiterate herd.
We thin out.
The more, well, what you were actually getting at is actually the Founding Fathers' intent. Voting was not a right. It was a privilege which you earned. It is not something that was handed to you at birth. It's because if you don't have to earn something, you don't appreciate it, and you don't have to care for it. Therefore, that's the reason the Founding Fathers put the property qualification on it as a privilege, not a right.
And it cheapens the vote when just at a certain age you just get it. It's yours, here it is. Well, what is it? Oh, you could help decide how everybody lives and dies and which direction the country goes. Oh, by turning 18? Yeah, it's the way it works. Oh, okay, cool.
And that's the reason the Founding Fathers made this a republic, not a democracy. The democracies always fall to this direction.
Yeah.
They always fall.
Leads to mob
Once
rule.
the people realize that they can vote themselves money, they're going to do it.
Yeah.
Okay, we're changing the rules of voting here on Trento Vision today. So no, we got to build this out. I think there's a very sound argument here. And the counter argument is going to be, I saw that, we got to do that. The counter argument is going to be, it's unpatriotic, and it's this, and it's that, and...
Oh, it's a right, it's a right, it's a right.
We
No, it's
can't
not a right.
even
It never
pass
was a
voter
right.
Courts
ID
have said
laws
it.
without
I
being
don't
called
know.
racists and bigots.
I
Now
don't
we're
know.
going to...
We'll see what the rabbi says coming up in just a few minutes. Tom Trento for everybody. We'll see you in a little bit.
If you suffer from excruciating back pain and sciatica, pay careful attention. According to a study in the medical journal Spine, back surgeries to alleviate pain frequently backfire.